Today I want to talk to you about something called the milestone effect and how you can use it to achieve more goals without shooting for big goals. You can get big goals, but you can break them down using what's called milestones. And so I'm going to kick this off with a study I was reading about the other day. A basic and social applied psychology study found for all the days in the year that people could die, they noticed that the days before 4 specific days were statistically significant. So first I'm going to write the 4 days. The first is Thanksgiving. The second day, Christmas. The third day, New Year's Day. And the fourth day, if you can take a guess, birthday. So I want you to think about, from this study, why people are dying less the day before. I should write day before these 4 days. So on these days or day after, the death distribution looks normal, right? You would expect 365 days of the year. You really can't choose when you die. So you would expect that the data spread evenly, but the days right before these 4 days, there's less people dying, significantly less. And it all has to do with something called the milestone effect. And so these researchers found there's some sort of hanging on process. They want to hang on, even if they're sick or getting old, they find the will, the fight in them to make it to these days. Now, when they reach these days, the deaths go back up. And the idea is, okay, I made my birthday, I made New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Now I can kind of let go. But the days before these, they're beating the usual death rate. And so how does this affect you? If we draw a line here, so here's where you are now, and we go out here and we say this is your goal. This goal may be small, it may be big, it may be medium. It could be money, it could be weight, it could be networks. I want you to think about your main goal. I want to talk about how you can use this milestone effect to your advantage. And so what if we took, let's just pretend this was your net worth. We'll use money because everybody understands that. Your net worth is 100,000. And your goal is 200,000. And you want to do that maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, whatever. If we look at this goal and we say, I got to find some way to make 100,000. When you start here, this feels like a marathon. Your first few steps, you may feel bogged down. You might say, wow, that's a lot of work I got to do. But what if we cut this in half? 150K. 50K is still a big jump from 100, but it's not as much as 200. And then what if we said, let's break this in 4s. We got 175, 125K. 25 is manageable. But what if even that, we want to get a little bit more and we want to adopt these principles here, that you're going to fight harder right before you reach a milestone to get there? What if we cut these in half? So you got 112.5K, another, you can break this, break this, break this. Even more manageable. What if we even cut it more? And we can say, all right, I'm going to cut that in half, cut that in half. If you're at 100 grand and you got to get to, we'll say 106, how much easier is that? Let's say you're at 103 and you're trying to find a way to make another 3,000, either an investment or a raise at your job, or maybe take on a second job. 3,000 on a scale of 100 is not a big deal. That's 3%. So as you inch closer to this, the idea is you're going to get more energetic, more crafty on how to reach that first milestone. It may not be your main milestone, But the idea is, as we approach a milestone, we're going to fight. We're going to get more crafty. We're going to do what it needs to do, what we need to do to get to each of these milestones. And so what I'm getting at is, if we look at the death data for these 4 days, most people consider these special days, right? They're either a time to meet family, or they could say, hey, I made another family Christmas, or my birthday's special because people are going to celebrate for me. Take that principle and put it on your milestone timeline. But if you have a big goal, which is fine, see if you can cut it down in increments. And if you put this on paper or on a goal tracking app, most of these apps you can do sub milestones, or you can break these down. And so again, how many incremental breaks do you need to make where each jump is not only not a big deal for you, but it's motivating, because going from 100 to 200, that's a big deal. But if I want to go to 100 to 106, that's manageable. And if I want to go even lower, let's cut that in half. That's 103. So can I find a way to make 3K? Sure, I'm sure we all could. And so to wrap this video up, think about the fight and the energy we have to make these days when people get older. And this is hundreds of thousands of deaths that were studied. It may even be in the millions that were studied. So we're seeing something here, and it's not just an anomaly, is milestones, as we approach them, we'll turn on the gas. We're going to work harder to get there. So knowing that, if you could take your goals and subdivide them into manageable chunks, you'll be more motivated to reach the little milestones more and more and more. And if you do 3K, 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 pretty soon that adds up. And now the 100,000 goal that you had, that looks more manageable because you've cut it down into chunks. And what is a big goal if nothing but a group of chunks? And so the next time you do your goal here, think about the milestone effect and see how you can break things down until each chunk is very manageable. Thanks for watching.